color variations. You can see here, there's a few color variations just within this one. We'll talk a little bit more about that particular habitat within the amethyst. Well, let's talk about it. Purple, of course, that's what you're going to think of. When you see amethyst, you're going to think of purple. None of these sites are sponsoring me. I'm giving them free advertisements, so you can blow this up and look at it if you want. I have nothing to do with any of them, good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, so just be aware of that. Okay, just enjoy the photographs, and if you feel like looking at any of these, go ahead. So purple is the obvious color of choice. Deep dark purple. This one here, I'd call it kind of a medium reddish purple, but it can go from a lavender color, like you look at some of these other ones up here. Right here, here's a very lavender color. Lavender colors, there can be different shades within a single crystal, like the first sample that we saw. This can make it valuable depending on whether it complements the gemstone or detracts from it, these patterns. Secondary colors. There can be a lot of secondary colors, and I will take you through and show you some of these a little later in the video. But as you look through here, you will see a few that will have sometimes citrine secondary colors, so that can be beautiful. But these secondary colors can include red, blue, or gray, or even a white color, as you can see in some of these here off to the side here. The different types of amethysts. Usually these are specific to the different colors and areas that you can find them. There is a Siberian amethyst. This is a term sometimes used to describe very high quality amethyst with a deep, rich, dark purple with flashes of red or even blue. And I've got some specimens like that to show you here, some pictures of that. Rose de France. This is a lighter variety of amethyst with delicate lavender or a lilac hue, often less expensive than the deeper purple varieties, depending where you buy it and how nice the specimen is. Here's one you might not have ever heard of, a green amethyst, and I've got some nice samples of green amethyst. It's not technically amethyst, it is a form of quartz called prasiolite, and we'll look at that. It has green, dark green hues. Also can be created through a heat treatment of an amethyst or a citrine. Regional variations, we've got the Brazilian amethyst. This is quite popular. We will see this in huge cathedrals and crystals and caverns, and I've got a lot of that upcoming to show you as well. Uruguayan amethyst produces very high quality amethyst, also known for its deep purple color. These crystals are usually smaller than the Brazilian, but they are highly saturated. Also, you have the Zambian amethyst, known for a rich dark purple hue, excellent clarity, and exceptional quality that it is known for. You can see I've been trying to show you a few different beautiful specimens here. Hopefully you can look at those with some fluorite and amethyst and different specimens that you can see here. Now what you want to look out for is heat treated and dyed amethyst. It's fine if that's what you want, but make sure you are purchasing this from a reputable person so that you can know what you're getting, know the value of it. That's typical Brazilian amethyst there. So heat treating is common and can bring out the intensity of the color, but you just need to know about it. Okay. Amethyst variations in colors and types make it very versatile and sought after gemstone. The most prized amethysts are those with a strong or even purple hue, good clarity, minimum inclusions, which are little bubbles and things like that. You can see in this large point here, there's quite a few inclusions throughout that. That can add to it, but it can take away. So it just really depends on what the stone is and what you're looking for. Of course, if you're looking to cut jewelry, typically you don't want inclusions, but we're going to talk about some inclusions toward the end that are really spectacular, so don't count them out. They can be extremely valuable and prized if these inclusions are of a rare type. Collectors and enthusiasts appreciate the wide range of colors and regional differences that amethyst offers. Again, amethyst is a variety of quartz. I try to keep down on some of the repetition, but because we'll be talking about different specimens, some repetition will be in here, so bear with me and appreciate the information that is specific to each type and kind and variation and color that we talk about. The crystal formations depend on the geological environment, and now we're going to talk about some of these different crystal formations. I've shown you a few of them here in the pictures that I've brought out, but let's talk more about them. There can be clusters. Here's some clusters here with some druses over them. They form a mass. They can be quite large and used for decorative purposes in jewelry. It could be just a single crystal or a clump of crystals with a prism-shaped cap with hexagonal pyramids at each end. These crystals are often transparent with vibrant purple color and are highly prized by collectors. Now you can tell this one here off to the right was been ground by someone, ground up, and there are many different variations of amethyst to be seen. Scepters are another really interesting one. I've got some better pictures of scepters, but we did show you one just a second ago here. Let's see. Here it is. Here is a scepter of sorts. It's not the best one. There are others, and I will show you more. I have more of them down on the list here a little further. All right. There's also, so a scepter looks like a king's scepter, kind of. It's got a crown on top. It can be bigger. So it's basically one quartz crystal on top of another. So we will look at some of those as well. Phantoms. I've got some examples of that. This is internal lines within the crystal which occur when the crystal's growth is interrupted and then it resumes. This creates layers within the crystals that are visible and give it a unique appearance. Here are some of the scepters I was telling you about. You can see that they can be just a long club type. That would be completely natural there. But some actually form like this. You have to make sure, were they ground down or did that happen in nature? It does happen in nature, definitely happens in nature, but you have to be careful. Here's one that has happened in nature. It's quite spectacular, but there are fakes out there. Because people want to make a lot of money, they look at ways to fake these. So beware. Buy off a reputable source if you are going to pay extra money to get a scepter. The phantoms, I'm not sure if I have some phantoms here. This is secondary colorizations. I did have some phantoms. Yes, here we go. Here's some phantoms. One good example of a phantom. Here you have different color streaks there. You can see how that is. I think that's probably not what I wanted. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Got some neat little phantomine there. Also, it's got some pretty cool inclusions. Sometimes amethyst can contain inclusions of cacoadexnite, a mineral that can create striking visual patterns within. These inclusions can enhance the stone's beauty. This one actually has some of that going on. There are a few more here that you can see that have some beautiful inclusions in them that give it quite the beauty and rarity. And sometimes these designs, like here, can be quite whimsical and magical. And you definitely are going to pay a premium for something spectacular like that. Again, make sure that you are verifying the that this is real, that this is not. That one looks. See, that one looks totally hand ground to me. I don't know. Yeah, that's. I think that's hand ground. That one, I wouldn't buy that. It's pretty, but I would look for again a reputable source, and that is who you're going to want to purchase from. But you can find some really neat stones with some pretty cool inclusions in them that can be quite valuable. And we'll talk more about that at the end. All right. Let's talk about the ancient history and lure of these gemstones. I wanted to kind of go back to some of this Roman jewelry that you see here. Some of these are thousands of years old. I'm just going to get a swig of coffee. All right. Greece and Rome, also the Jews, the high priest put those on their breastplate, but the Greece and Rome, the name amethyst derived from the Greek word amethyst, meaning not intoxicated. The Greeks and the Roman had this crazy belief that amethyst could prevent drunkenness, so they carved these goblets out of amethyst, hoping to ward off the effects of alcohol. Egypt, the Egyptians, they used amethyst for its symbolic meaning, including protection against harm and evil. It also was a favored gemstone for jewelry and amulets, as you see here. This had quite the significance for ancient Romans. You're looking at some beautiful Roman amethyst rings. These are highly, highly valuable. Most of them would be in a museum. Quite spectacular. I just love this stuff. That it's maintained this color and condition. It's just amazing. Medieval times, the clergy and royalty would use this. They favored it, the clergy did. It was a symbol of purity and royalty. Purple is the color of royalty historically from times of antiquity. Also noted in the Bible, something that would be quite desired. Oh, here's something carved out of amethyst. You have an amethyst vase, a bowl. We have some other beautiful, there's a goblet there, a wine glass. Drink out of that, you don't get drunk, right? Definitely looks Greek, right? Got your beautiful woman, masculine man there, and the beautiful goblet to drink from. So some pretty cool works of antiquity. It's a mystical and spiritual stone from times of antiquity and even thought to be so on into this day. It's associated with the properties to aid in meditation, enhance intuition, bring clarity and thought. The gemstone has thought to offer protection. It has been used as a talisman and amulet for this purpose. That's to protect yourself against evil. Healing and metaphysical beliefs, it's considered to be the balance of calm, helping alleviate stress and anxiety, promote healing and transformation, as well as assist with a restful healing, sleep, and to help promote recall from dreaming. Some believe amethyst can cleanse negative energy, purify the mind, making it a popular stone for those seeking spiritual growth and inner peace. Now, some other cultural myths and the influence of amethyst go back to a myth about, in Greek, of Bacchus, the god of wine, who became angry with the mortals and vowed to unleash tigers on the first person he met. The first person he met was a beautiful maiden named Amethyst, who prayed to the gods for protection, and a goddess, Diana, turned Amethyst into a quartz statue to protect her from the tigers. Moved by her plight, Bacchus poured wine over the statue, staining it purple and giving us the amethyst gemstone, according to this cultural myth. Let's get into some more realistic things. Here's some, we'll pause for a minute here. Royalty, Queen Elizabeth always loved amethyst. This was one of her favorite necklaces right here. She wore it on several occasions. She looked quite eloquent and very much like royalty. Princess Diane also shared this love of amethyst with Queen Elizabeth, and you can see them there wearing some wonderful pieces, spectacular, beautiful pieces. But let's talk about the geology. Here I have accumulated some pictures of people who are digging up the amethyst in the rough conditions out there in the wilderness. So I have not clicked on all these, but let's check some of them out. Amethyst is a variety of quartz and forms under specific geological conditions found in various environments around the world. Often, as you can see in this picture here, with igneous, metamorphic, also secondary, sedimentary rocks. Here are some of the geological conditions where amethyst is found. You can find amethyst in cavities and geodes. It forms in these areas. It can be a volcanic or sedimentary area. Geodes can grow in sizes from large to huge, like this here, to small, very small. And caves can be lined, and cavities can be lined with these beautiful crystals of amethyst. They can get trapped in volcanic rocks within the lava and these crevices deep in the earth. They get filled with gas bubbles that get trapped with the cooling lava. Over time, these crystals fill with silica-rich fluids that deposit these beautiful amethyst crystals that are dug out of deep in the ground by these brave, hardy miners looking for them so that you can purchase them. Hydrothermal veins. Amethyst can form from hydrothermal veins, which are fissures or cracks in the rock filled with hot mineral-rich fluids, superheated fluids. As they cool, they deposit amethyst. They crystallize, sometimes along with other minerals inside along the vein. So that can happen, and they can be mixed with other types. Amethyst can be found with garnet, basalt, other types of igneous and metamorphic rocks. Alluvial, which would be more of a sand type rock, but they can be found out there and dug up out of the ground. You can see some of these pictures of people just picking them off the ground or in old dumps from a mine. They can be found in rivers and streams. They can have eroded from the original source and be carried downstream. Alluvial deposits would be amethyst that has been traveled from its original location to another spot and deposited downstream. And it can also be other types of stones. Sometimes these can be worn smooth. Most of the pictures I have here, they're rather hacky. Pegmatites. Pegmatites are coarse-grained igneous rocks that form and contain a variety of minerals, including amethyst and other minerals that we've talked about. These rocks form from the final stages of magma crystallization and can contain large, well-formed crystals. Associated minerals that are found with amethyst. We did show you one that had, I believe, some fluoride in it, but you can find it with many other things as well. You can find it with calcite. You can find it with agate. Sometimes an agate geode or agate deposit will have more wonderful amethyst inside of it. Other types of quartz, citrine, smoky quartz, and other minerals depending on the geographical and geological conditions that are there. Formation of amethyst is influenced by such factors as temperature, pressure, chemical composition, surrounding rock and fluids. That's what gives it the variations that we appreciate and love so much and that you can see here. Amethyst is known for its distinct purple color, but it can vary, as you see in some of these wonderful photos, from light to extremely dark. I mean, some of it almost looks black, right? That beautiful, if you look at my short, I have a short, you know how YouTube has little shorts, they're under 2 minutes, I think. I've got one on Amethyst that's kind of advertising this long video, and it's a deep, deep, dark, dark purple. And I actually found that with my grandfather at the Florita Mountains in the one of the only rock hounding parks in the country, where there's no fee. You just walk in, collect all, you know, the rocks within the restrictions. You know, you can only get so many per day, but it's quite quite a blessing to be able to do that in New Mexico, United States of America. So we are going to go over some more on the locations. I just noticed a little type error here. So let me just get rid of that here. We're going to get rid of some of that. Locations and mining, we touched on it a tiny bit, but let's get into it a little bit more. Amethyst is a type of quartz mined in various parts of the world in geological settings, forming crystals within geodes, aligning in rock cavities. And here is the overview of the major sources. Brazil, one of the largest producers of amethyst, known for high-quality deposits. The state of Rio Grande do Sul is particularly famous for amethyst geodes, which can be quite large and beautiful. Uruguay, also a major source of amethyst, especially from the Articas region. Amethyst from Uruguay is known for its deep purple color and exceptional quality. Zambia, one of the top producers, becoming one of the top producers of amethyst in recent years. The amethyst from Zambia is highly regarded for its rich color and clarity. Other sources found in the world all over the place, but these are major ones. Russia, Madagascar, India, United States, specifically in Arizona and South Carolina. But man, you can find it all over, I'm telling you. Mining methods, we did talk about some of these mining methods, but you can find people have mined amethyst in open pits. They have removed the overburden, the soil and the rock. They expose the amethyst-bearing rock underneath and extract it. Geode extraction, this can be seams, it can be caves that are lined. Miners carefully extract these geodes. We saw several photographs of that and reveal the amethyst inside. Alluvial, we touched on that. Some areas, amethyst can be found in alluvial deposits where it's transported by water and deposited in stream beds or river beds. Mining practices, of course, they vary depending on the regions and the size of the operation. Small-scale miners like me and my grandpa just pick them up off the ground, but some miners use heavy machinery. Ethical mining practices are becoming increasingly important in the jewelry industry. Consumers will pay a little more premium for amethyst that has been sourced responsibly with attention to environmental impact and fair treatment of workers. Processing and sorting. Well, once it's extracted, the process is to get rid of the stuff that's just not worth selling for the jewelry market. They may use it for other purposes, but as a grit or for just its quartz silica value. But it could be sorted based on color, quality, clarity, and size. The best is set aside for jewelry. And you can see these beautiful faceted stones here of amethyst, giving you some ideas of what you can expect to see out there. Those would be processed. Again, amethyst is very popular around the world, and people will continue mining this for a long time. It shows no signs of slowing. Let's talk about the properties and uses a little bit more. We've talked about a few of them, but let's go in depth. The different crystal formations and structures contribute to the overall appeal of the variety of amethysts, which we covered a lot of those. Collectors and enthusiasts seek out specific formations for their beauty and uniqueness, whether in geodes, clusters, single crystals, whatever it is. The array of colors keeps them a fascinating gemstone to explore and admire. Transforming rough amethyst into gemstones involves several steps, including cutting, shaping, and polishing the rough stones. So here is a overview of what would happen to be able to get the rough into jewelry. The jewelry uses as well will be covered. So amethyst is used in a wide range of jewelries and items such as rings, necklaces, earrings, and bracelet. Very popular for both casual and formal jewelry designs because of its striking color and variations, and it is readily available. The hardness is 7 on the Mohs scale, which makes it very hard and durable and suitable for everyday wear. Comparable close to emerald. And then transparency and luster. In fact, it doesn't break as easy as an emerald, in my opinion. Transparency and luster. Amethyst can vary in transparency, as we've shown many pictures. It can be vitreous, glassy luster, adding to its aesthetic appeal. Crystal structure. It is a type of quartz, has hexagonal crystal structures forming long, pointed crystals, shorter crystals, geodes, clumps, cavities. You find these in cavities and rocks. The density and refractive index. The density of amethyst is approximately 2.65 G/cm3. Reflective or refractive index is about 1.54 to 1.55. So a little bit of shine and sparkle, not like a diamond, of course, but the colored stones don't really need that in most cases. So again, very popular as a choice of jewelry. Rings, necklaces, earrings, bracelets, beautiful purple color and durability make it a wonderful stone for all sorts of designs. You can see here it's fashioned as a butterfly. You could see it as the little crystals here. Those have probably been highlighted and colored with something. Look at this beautiful brooch here. All sorts of things. Decorative objects. In addition to jewelry, amethyst is used to create decorative items such as vases, sculptures, ornamental pieces, large amethyst geodes, which I want to find those. Let's see, we don't need that. Let's find some of those large cavities here. Where were those? Come show me them. Where were they? I want to show you that one too. There's some big crystals here. We don't need that. That one's, there we go. Look at this. Look at the size of that crystal right there. Isn't that amazing? That thing is 22 feet tall. That's a big one. So very decorative. It can be used with, you can see there's some citrine in there and maybe some calcite inside of this particular geode. If you see those big yellow clumps that are there, those are other minerals that formed along with it. These amethyst geodes and items and sculptures are especially prized as decorative and collectible items. Collectible items include high-quality amethyst specimens, usually the larger or more spectacular the better. Industrial uses, less common, lower quality amethyst can be used for industrial applications such as abrasives and electronic components due to its quartz composition. So that's definitely something that you want to check out. Uses for amethyst in lapidary and jewelry. First of all, what do you want to do? You want to look for a good piece. Evaluate it. Look through the amethyst. Use light so you can see the shape, color, clarity, and inclusions or fractures. Decide on the best technique for cutting this stone and slabbing it up, whether it be a display piece or whether it be as a cabochon, and see how you can maximize its beauty and yield, or you can facet it if you are able to facet, or you can get some lessons to be able to facet it into a fine gemstone for fine jewelry. Do that. Marketing and planning, marking and planning. You want to mark it in the shape that you're going to cut it and we've talked about that. And then you would use a saw and trim it and cut it into the general shape, prepare it for shaping using a round, oval, pear, or other shapes. Typically done with a faceting machine. Amethyst is a wonderful material for that. Lapidary grinder or specialized tools if you want to make more of a cabochon. Be careful to maintain symmetric and proportions for best aesthetic appeal. Faceting and polishing, that's the process where you would create flat sides and angles that form the gemstone that you typically would see once you go to the jewelry store. That can enhance the brilliance and sparkle. In fact, I should have looked up, there are some really neat ways to facet where they will actually cut more lines to capture even more light on the bottom and make specific designs show up. Kind of like what we saw the ancients do by let's see, this one's pretty lit up. It gives it a different type of a look, right? It makes some of it lighter and darker and brighter. Let's see, this is a good example right here. See how it really gives it some depth and texture? Well, lines can be cut in these in other ways to make them look more, to collect more light and sparkle. And those are specialized techniques. They have machines that do that. I should have got some pictures of those. Once they're done cutting, they want to be polished, these stones. You want to polish and have a smooth, glossy surface, bringing out the beauty. And then final cleaning, you want to remove this polish. You want to have a smooth, shiny, shiny rock. Okay. Here are some wonderful examples of inclusions. Some of these inclusions can have rutile in them. You can see in the pictures that I'm showing you that these are amazing. These are amazing samples of amethyst with inclusions that would increase their value greatly. There's a very gray type variety, probably close to where this purple specimen was found, with lots of inclusions. That one's not especially beautiful, but some of the other ones that I just showed you are amazing. Here's some interesting crystal specimens and such that you could just spend hours looking at this stuff. All right, care and maintenance. All right, you want to be able to take care of this stuff once you have it, whether it be a set in a stone or here's the rutile with a little bit of amethyst there. It's not super dark, but you've got the rutile in there. Isn't that amazing? All right, so if you want to clean it, again, you can never go wrong with warm, soapy water and a soft brush. Gently clean the amethyst using soft brush or cloth. Avoid using harsh chemicals or abrasive materials because you can scratch it. Rinse it thoroughly with clean water. Dry carefully. Use a nice soft cloth. Don't use a rough towel. Some of these materials, modern materials today, can eventually, over time, scratch your specimen or your jewelry that is in your ring. Avoid ultrasonic and steam cleaners. Amethyst is sensitive to heat. Sudden temperature change from an ultrasonic or steam cleaner should be avoided as it can damage the stone. They're not diamonds. They're not built the same. Caring for it, avoid prolonged sun exposure. Sun exposure will make your amethyst fade, and it will happen a lot quicker than you want. So if you have a beautiful crystal cathedral in your house, you don't want to put that by the window to show it off to everybody for a very long period. You want that, if you had like a display or something, you'd want to make sure it was constantly in the shade, and it never has direct sunlight on it. These can be lit with other types of lighting to show off the beauty. Don't let them get in the sunlight. And research the light to make sure that you are using the right kind to not cause the amethyst to fade. Store amethyst separately from other hard gemstones so they don't scratch. Amethyst will scratch itself. Use a soft cloth to separate the different pieces. Keep away from harsh chemicals again. Don't use bleach, ammonia, or strong acids. It's going to damage the stone. If you have jewelry, be sure and check the settings often. they can get loose. Make sure they're secure. Um, keep the dirt out. If they're loose, take them to a professional. If you don't know how to tighten them yourself, here's another beautiful stone with some inclusions. Handle it with care, especially your specimens. You don't want to drop them, cause them to chip or break, or fade by rough handling or accidental dropping. Periodically, for your jewelry, have a professional cleaning done. Take your amethyst jewelry to a professional, have them clean it, have them view it. They can inspect it for chips, and that way your specimens and your samples and your jewelry can last for years and years. Now, when you're buying amethyst, you're going to want, of course, to look at the color. Bring a magnifying glass or an eyepiece so that you can check out for the inclusions. These don't typically make it more valuable unless they're the spectacular ones that I showed you earlier, like the Rudel. You're looking for deep color. You're looking for a good cut. The lighter colors are typically less, but sometimes the lavender can be desirable in a certain piece, depending on how it's accented with other stones. Inspect that stone. Look at the bottom, the top, the sides. Look at the jewelry, how it is attached to it, the prongs. Ensure gemstones meet the most desirable standards for size, shape, and quality. Amethyst, either in the rough or stones cut and mounted, can be found for sale in many locations. I've shown you a ton of them today. I'm not recommending any of them. It's just showing you the pictures that you can enjoy. But eBay, online sources, gem and mineral shows are especially a nice area, especially when they're sponsored by a real rock hounding or gem and mineral club. And then, of course, there's jewelry stores and things like that. And if you are not very knowledgeable on this, typically you can go to a place like Costco. They have a jewelry shop there. They usually have someone that is knowledgeable on that. Make sure you talk to their most knowledgeable person. You can get a good deal there and be pretty assured of that it's when sourced in a good way that would be agreeable for you. So that about wraps it up for everything all about amethyst. I hope you enjoyed this in-depth look at amethyst. There's also amethyst stalactites and stalagmites that form in caves. So this is kind of looks a little bit like one. I hope you really enjoyed this. Please share and like and subscribe and help us get this great information out to other people who would like to be entertained and educated with nice information on rocks, minerals, gemstones, rock hounding, lapidary, and until next time, remember, rockhounds don't die, we petrify.